Hello, yogis. It is time for a little yoga. My name is Alicia Finley, and thank you for being here. Today, for this practice, it's going to be a healing practice focusing on the hips and the low back. You will need one blanket or something blanket like a bathroom towel, and then a block of which I'm sitting on at the moment. So, something again block like, maybe some books could actually work, or even a water bottle. So, grab those things if you need them. Today, as we practice, I want to focus on waking up a little bit. I have a retreat coming up that is all virtual. And if you haven't signed up, I would love for you to join. It's called Namaste November. It's for the 24 days leading up to Thanksgiving. And the whole theme is around waking up more in our lives, being more present. And one of the things I came across that helps with this is something that Brene Brown shared. And she talks a lot about people and people who are living a wholehearted life. And she said that there are three things that wholehearted people do when it specifically comes to things like numbing. And so numbing is any way that we kind of step out of the moment. So it might be having a drink. It might be getting on our phones or social media. Sometimes it's even exercising. We can do it to clear, but also sometimes we can do it to just numb. And so she said three things that people who are wholehearted do. One is they learn how to actually feel their feelings. Two, they stay mindful about numbing. And three, they learn how to lean into the discomfort of hard emotion. So as we focus on low back and hips, we're going to kind of think about these three things of how we can wake up a little bit more to the feelings, noticing more when we might tend to numb and check out, and whether or not that's conscious or it's unconscious, and becoming more mindful of that. So I want you to find a nice, easy seat. Sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. And if you are interested in the November offering, I will put that in the description, and so you can find that if you'd like. So as your eyes close, start to soften and deepen into your breath. Allow there to be an ease in the way that you're breathing, connecting you a little bit deeper to your body, to your mind, and allowing you to open your heart with a greater sense of presence and understanding. Let's take the hands together in front of our heart. Take a moment and set an intention. Noticing if one of these things might have resonated with you, whether or not you feel like you actually do know how to feel your feelings. If you're mindful about, when you maybe tend to check out and do something to numb. And actually learning how to lean into that discomfort when you feel hard emotions brewing. And then release your chin down towards your chest. Let your hands come down onto your legs. Inhale, lift your chin. Let your eyes gently begin to blink open. Good. I'm going to come off my block and I'm going to set that off to the side. And you can switch the cross of your legs if you like, putting your other shin, if you were sitting cross-legged like I was, put your other shin in front. And I want you to reach your right hand back behind your right hip and stretch your left arm up towards the sky. And just like a yawn, inhale. Keep the sitting bone, the left side sitting bone anchored down. And then come back to center. And then left hand down behind your left hip. Inhale. It's like a big old yawn. And down. Inhale. Now the yoga mat, It's a nice, safe space for us to practice and also give ourselves, left hand down, permission to feel what comes up. Down. Now we're going to go over to the side. So let your right hand come a little bit more forward this time and reach your left arm. Now we're going to go as you exhale on the diagonal. So it's about parallel to the floor. And then inhale, come up. And then left hand to the left. Inhale or exhale. Reach. Now we're bowing a little more. So we're going to fold on the exhale. Do that again. Right hand to the right. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now one more. Right hand a little further to the right. You're going to bow as you exhale the fingertips all the way to the floor. And then inhale back up. Really starting to get into the low back here. Exhale. Now we're going to do about 3 more. And if one of the other ones is feeling better than this one where we're folding, I want you to go back to that one. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. One more time, each side. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Come all the way back up. Roll the shoulders a few times up towards your ears, back and down. And the thing to remember about emotion is that they come and they go. Reverse the direction. No duh, right? But when we're in difficult emotion, it really can feel like it's going to stay there forever, for a really long time. Let's come around to tabletop, and here's where I need you to grab either your books and your towel or blanket. All right, and we're going to set the block on the left-hand side of the mat on the lowest setting, and I'm using the blanket really just for padding. I have I have a cork block. It's a little harder. If you have a foam block, you may not need this padding, but I'm going to use it just because of the hardness of my surface. Okay, so we're going to come to a crooked tabletop. That's what we're going to call it. So your left knee is still under the hip, and your right knee is under your right hip, but obviously you can see my right hip is dipped and my left hip is lifted. We're going to be wrists under shoulders, just like we normally do. I'm going to tuck my left toes. Those are the ones that's on the block. I'm going to untuck my right foot. And I want you to inhale here, just neutral. You're not going to try to arch or do anything fancy. And as you exhale, you're going to push into this left leg and lift the right leg up till it's level. And you may even take a hand, your left hand, and see if your hips feel level. I have to come up a little more. And then lower down. So you're going to lift, and you're going to feel your core wake up here and lower. You're going to feel your back work. This is asymmetrical work, so you may notice one side feels easier than the other. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So again, we're not taking any arching and flattening. We're keeping the spine neutral. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Do it 2 more times. Exhale, lift. And lower. 1 more time. Exhale, lift. Now just hold there for a couple of breaths, breathing in. Again, maybe check your back for a moment. Good. And now extend that right leg straight back. Feel the belly still drawing in. And maybe stretch your left arm forward. Again, your left toes can be tucked here. So you have a little bit longer base on that left side. Bring your bicep on the left more by the ear if you can. And release. Good. Set it down. Slide your blanket and block off to the side for a moment. Step your left foot forward in between your hands. Tuck your back toes, lift the back knee up, and let's take a low lunge twist. Left arm to the sky. Breathe in. Exhale, take the arm over the ear. Good. Reaching long from your back heel. Pull the back heel a little more over the ball of the foot. Turn the belly deeper towards your inner thigh on the left. Good. And then circle this top arm back behind you as you slowly descend your right knee to the ground. And we're going to keep circling the arms coming up to Anjaneyasana, low lunge. As you exhale, clasp your hands and place it on the top of your left thigh. So here's where we're going to do a little bit of movement in a cat and cow shape. So I want you to inhale. If it's comfortable, let your hips drop down a little, but push your hands into your leg and draw the belly back. Good. And then exhale. I want you to back off your lunge and you can let yourself round more. So you're going to inhale, deepen, and even as I deepen, there's still a bit of an energy of my belly drawing back away from the thigh. My back arches a lot more here, and then I'll exhale, round. I'm going to back off my lunge, draw the tailbone down more. Do it one more time. Inhale, lift, exhale. Good. Inhale, hands release down to the ground. And exhale, sweep that left foot back. Good. Rock your hips out side to side. Oh, that feels good. Just getting into the outer hip a little bit. Anywhere where we're feeling tightness is just a place where we've held some energy, maybe some for a short time, some for a long time. And so we walk ourselves onto our yoga mat time and time again. Now we're going to put the block and the blanket on the right side to help free some of that stuck, stagnant energy. All right, right knee is going to go on the block. Hands back into tabletop, or I call it a crooked tabletop. All right, or your sass tabletop. Little pop it. Okay. Tuck your right toes. And as you exhale, you're going to lift that left knee. Maybe take your right hand, feel the low back. See if it's neutral. Feel the belly drawing in. And lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. You're doing great. Exhale, lift. And lower. You're like, you can't see me, but I know you're there. Exhale, lift. Stay on the mat, right? Lower. Exhale, lift. And lower. Exhale. Lower. Two more. Lift. You can feel even the arms getting a little bit of work here. Lower. Last time. Lift. Now you're going to hold. Again, maybe take that right hand. Feel the sacrum. I need to come up just a hair more. And we're going to extend that left leg back. Toes pointing down. Keep the belly drawing in. And if it's comfortable, only if it's comfortable, right arm is going to reach forward. Well, it may not be totally comfortable, but it might, as long as it feels like you can hold and keep some stability. How about that? Take another breath. Very good. Set the hand down. Set the knee down. Slide the blanket block off to the side. Step your right foot forward in between your hands. Left hand, you may need to walk it forward just a little bit. We're going to take a twist, tucking our back toes. I'm starting with my right hand on my right thigh. Lift the back leg up. If it's too much, you can always keep the back knee down. Right arm reaches up. Breathe in. Stretch the arm over the ear. Exhale. Wrap that outer right hip back. Think of your right outer hip moving towards your left inner thigh. Yes, you feel that in the inner thigh. Squeeze together. Now take that back knee down. Circle this top arm back and around, and we're going to come all the way up, Anjaneyasana. As you exhale, clasp your hands the other way. Place them on top of your right thigh. So a little cat and cow here. Inhale, lift your heart, let your hips drop down. And exhale, round your back a little more, straighten the arms, and really take the tail down. Inhale, let the hips draw down. Heart opens. Exhale. One more time, breathe in. Lift. Exhale. Round. Very good. Inhale, come back into the lunge, hands to the ground, and exhale, step it back, tabletop position. Good. Now just sway again, a couple times side to side. And we're going to grab that block, set the blanket for the moment off to the side. Not going to need that probably for a bit. if at all. Again, I want you to bring it to the top of your mat, and we're going to step forward to the top of the mat. We're going to grab our block, again, the narrow way, and bring it between your inner thighs. Bend your knees quite a lot here. Walk one hand up your thigh, above the knee, the other hand up the thigh. Allow your back to go a little bit more straight. You can feel your hip crease. That's where the hinge point is coming from. It's not the waist, it's from the hip crease. And we're going to inhale, rise, come all the way up. Connect your palms over your head and look up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Tadasana. Good. Now I really want you to squeeze your legs together, either using here that water bottle, or books will be harder. Water bottle will be easier here. So squeeze the block. You're going to try to take your groins back. You see how I kind of spit the block out. Groins go back. Tail draws down, and you're going to feel a really tight hold. Sometimes we get back pain because the adductors are much weaker for most of us than these big external rotators on the outside. Also look at your feet. The center of your big toe mound is in line with the center of your ankle. So the feet are turned out and they're not turned in. They're pointing straight forward. Reach the arms up. Breathe in. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Keep the stability in the legs, pushing down into the feet. Reach the arms up. Breathe in. Hands to the heart. Exhale. Now we're going to add a chair pose. We're going to hinge again from that hip crease. Take the arms out just shoulder height here because we're trying to keep the back. We're getting it stronger but not wanting to aggravate it. And then push to stand. Bring your hands to your heart as you exhale. Circle the arms wide. Inhale. Sit your hips back. Wiggle those toes. Good. Hands to the heart. Inhale. Now notice the tendency of your own mind. If this feels a little more challenging, just the tendency of the mind. Does it check out? Does it numb by just getting distracted? Inhale. And that's what mine will tend to do in the practice, is it just starts busying with a lot of other thoughts. Inhale. Instead of staying on the mat, right? I'm on the mat, but I'm not really on the mat. Just like 2 more times. Exhale. Our eyes are awake, but we're not really waking up in the moment and living life to the fullest. Take 1 more breath. Inhale. Now holding here, not the breath, but the pose. Keep breathing. Feel those inner thighs. They are really getting warm now. Very good. And then hands to the heart. Exhale. So we're going to do a variation of a half salute. Keep the block there. Breathe in. Take your hands to your hips and hinge from the hip crease now with straight legs and come just halfway forward. Good. Reverse your swan dive. Inhale, rise. And hands to the heart. Exhale. Good. Do it again. Inhale, reach. Keep squeezing the block. Hands to hips. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, rise back up. And hands to heart. Exhale. Let's do it 1 more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hinge. Hands to the hips. And get to the point, hopefully, where you're feeling some awakening in the hamstrings. Inhale, rise back up. And hands to the heart. Exhale. Good. Now we're going to take the block out and we're going to just see what we feel here for a moment. All right. Block comes out. Tadasana pose. Palms face forward. Close your eyes. Now notice if there's any energy. By energy, it might be tingling, might feel a little bit buzzy, might feel warm. Might be in the legs, pelvis, back. Good. All right, reach the arms up to the sky. Breathe in. And now I want you to take your feet a little wider, heels in, toes out. We're going to exhale to Malasana. Now you might need that block, and you can go any height here to sit on it if you can't come down comfortably. Good. Malasana. Now your arms are on the insides of your legs. Lift your sternum up out of the tailbone. So the tailbone is dropping down and the sternum is lifting up. So it's a really nice lengthening here for the low back. And we're going to power back up through the legs and inhale, reach the arms open, breathe in, and then exhale back into that squat. Let your arms open here, breathe in. Bring the hands back to the heart, breathe out. Push to stand, inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart, Malasana. Arms along your legs, inhale. Hands back to the heart, exhale. Last time, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Good. Now fingertips to the ground. We're going to take the hips to the sky, spin the feet out so the feet are parallel. Inhale, send your heart forward. Exhale, we'll step back. And we're going to come all the way to the belly. So I'm taking my knees down today. You're welcome to do plank all the way down to the ground. Exhale. All right. You're going to take your left hand, palm down. Your forearm is going to be parallel with the top of your mat. And your left cheek is going to come on the back of your hand. Your right arm is going to come by your side. Palm is up. Thumb is facing you. Pinky outside. Good. Now take a breath in. Take a breath out. Now we're going to lift the elbow, and the head and the hand are going to stay connected. So you're going to lift and you're going to lower. So feet staying down here on this first one. Lift. As you lift, even the right shoulder head, lift that shoulder head up and lower. Now, if that's feeling like plenty, stay there. Or we're going to lift your opposite leg. So right leg is going to lift as the left elbow comes up and the head. Inhale, lift and lower. Good. Inhale, lift. Now remember, instead of that right shoulder dropping, keep that right shoulder lifting as well. And lower. Lift. Keep the top of the left foot pushing down, lower. And as you lift the right leg, notice if the toes are turning out, point the toes and kneecap down and lower. One more time, yogis. Inhale, lift and lower. Very good. That is not easy. It's a simple movement, but it is not easy. Okay, let's switch sides. So right hand, right forearm's out in front of you now. Your right cheek is on the back of your right hand and your left arm's by your side. Back of the hand down, thumb is facing you, pinkies to the outside of your mat on your left hand. We're going to start 2 times with just the head, elbow, hand. Inhale, lift. Keep the left shoulder now lifting up as well. And lower. And lift. And lower. Now you can again stay here or opposite leg. Now it's left. We'll lift. Inhale, lift. And lower. Your right leg is engaged, the one that's down, and the kneecap on the right is actually off the ground. So the foot is pushing down, but the kneecap's lifting. Inhale. Lower. So that leg is nice and awake. Lift and lower. Remember the block between the thighs. Feel the inner thighs lift, lift, and lower. Last time. Lift and lower. So good. Sphinx pose. Bring your forearms out in front of you. Begin to gaze forward. And if you want to move a little bit side to side, allow that mid part of the back, right where the kidneys sit, below your bottom rib cage, just to feel that gentle pressure side to side. Excellent. And then slide the hands back. We're going to push up to tabletop and walk your arms out one more time for puppy pose. Forehead to the ground. Good. And from puppy pose, I want you to come forward. Your hands are going to slide back a hair, but not too much. The wrists I want in front of your shoulders quite a bit. So we're going to inhale, melt the heart, and then exhale, round the back. And you're going to take your hips back just a little bit. Like you're coming towards child's pose, but you're not going to really go there. And then inhale, lift. So it feels like an extended cat-cow. Exhale with a hybrid of a child's pose in there. One more time, inhale. And it's a little different here, right? Having the hands so much farther forward. Exhale. Very good. Now walk your hands back in. Tuck your toes. And you're just going to bring your feet out in front of you. Okay? All right. So we're going to come to a variation of Marichyasana. We're going to extend the left leg out. And we're going to set the sole of our right foot on the left inner thigh. Now we're going to do what's called an open twist. So to help with the low back, deep twisting can sometimes really aggravate the back as well as forward bending. So you can see we've done very minimal of both of those thus far. So we're going to do what's called an open twist. We're not going to close over. We're going to keep it open. Left hand behind you. Reach your right arm up to the sky. And we're going to work those adductors again. We're going to bring the right arm on the inside of the right leg. Chest nice and tall. You're going to work the inner thigh just like you were squeezing the block, but now it's your arm. Hug your knee against your arm and push your arm out against your leg. And turn and twist. And you've got a jazz hand here on the right, or a high five hand. Yeah. Good. Take another breath. And as you squeeze arm and leg arm, just notice your heart and your chest getting a little taller. Good. And then slowly unwind. Let your hands come behind you. Let the right knee now abduct and open, and just flutter that wing a little bit. Flutter your wing. I was reading an article that a friend shared, Let's Switch Sides, recently, where they were talking about the butterfly and the process of the butterfly. Left foot in, right hand behind you. Let's take left arm up, breathe in. Now, actually, I'm going to sit on a blanket here. I'm just noticing my left sitting bone is lifting a bit, and if you find that to be the case, grab your blanket and sit on it, please. Much better. And then exhale. Cactus that left arm, arm against leg, leg against arm. And the author was saying, I really feel like I'm at this point right now where I'm the goo in the chrysalis. You know that literally as the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, they do literally become goo. They become nothing. And it's just this interesting process of metamorphosis that we all go through. Spine nice and tall, where we don't always know what's coming next. And sometimes that really causes us to shut down, or it causes us to really try to over control. That's me. Over control what I can. When sometimes what we really need to do is just gently unwind, is to learn how to lean into the discomfort, knowing that it's not going to stay, let your wing flutter. You're not going to stay in that process forever. You're not going to stay in that emotion forever. You're not going to stay in that season forever. Very good. And then slowly both feet now are going to come to the ground. And again, you can stay sitting on your blanket here if that's comfortable. I'm going to keep it right now and just kind of test it out. I'm going to center myself here a little more. All right, fingertips. I'm going to turn my fingertips away. Take your feet a little bit wider than your hips. So lift your chest. And I just want you to sway your knees just for the moment to the right, only to the point where you feel like that left sit bone's going to lift, and try to keep it down. So they're not going to go quite as far as they would. We're going to get to the one that I know you want to in a moment. So go a little slower. You're going to feel perhaps a little bit more. I'm asking you to learn how to feel with the feelings, and to be mindful if you're numbing right now and distracting yourself. If you need to, maybe close your eyes so that what's outward isn't grasping your attention. Okay, now as we go to the right, now I want you to let your left sit bone lift. So I'm going to take my blanket out. I'd prefer that now. So knees to the right. You can let your left sit bone lift up off the mat. And then back to center and over to the left. And let this just feel good. So you might turn your torso a little more. Some of you might be a little faster, and you're just going side to side. Let yourself explore. Good. And then come back up to center. Bring your feet in so they're hip width apart, and we're going to do a figure 4 seated. I'm going to turn my hands away from me now. Right ankle. See if you can get your right ankle bone just outside that left knee and flex your right foot. The closer you walk your hands in to get the spine straighter, that will intensify it. The shorter the distance between your left foot and your 2 sitting bones, that also will intensify it. So if it's too much, you scoot your foot further forward. If it's not enough, bring the foot in closer to you. And I want you to just let yourself rock a little bit side to side here. So if you're too close, it'll be hard to rock. You might need to move that left foot out just a little bit. The next time that your foot and your legs rock left, keep them there. Your right sit bone is still down. So they're rocking to the point, but the right sit bone is staying down. Lift your chest. And now just gently push with your left hand a little more and walk it up a little closer if you need to. And turn and twist your torso to the right. You may feel some discomfort. Hopefully there shouldn't be any pain. If there's pain, then I want you to come out and you can lay on your back and take the same shape, okay? Right ankle over the knee. You can thread the arms around the back of the left leg. Very good. Inhale back up and take that right hand and gently bring that left leg in a little closer to you for a seated variation of the twist. Remember, we're not going to go on our deepest twist today. Left leg, if it bothers your knee, just straighten it out. If you need your blanket to sit on, grab your blanket. Right hand behind you, left arm up. Now, I just want you today to hook the elbow around the knee. This is more about a hip opener than a deep twist. I even sometimes like to take my right hand and hold that wrist. But if you feel more stable with the hand down, that's fine. This is really slow, keeping that right sit bone. If you're noticing it's lifting, grab your blanket. Soften your gaze. And imagine you're using your left elbow to lift your right knee up off, like you're trying to pick the right foot up. Don't let the foot come up, but just imagine that you are lifting it up, and at the same time you're gently standing down into that right foot. You get a little more sensation maybe happening as you do those two actions. The lifting up, hugging the elbow up against that leg, pushing down with the foot just gently into the earth. Give your body time to feel the sensation and actually even pay attention if the sensation drifts at all, if the discomfort shifts, if it subsides, or if it increases, so you have a chance to practice and work with waking up. And gently unwind. If you want to take a counter twist, right hand to right ankle, left hand behind you, just revolving the chest open. Be gentle here. Really allow the belly to feel some deep breaths too, now that it's not constricted. And unwind. Very good. Feet back in front of you. Let's just take a few rocks side to side. You can let the sit bone lift. Get some cracks out. We're in the season of fall, the season of wind, the Vata dosha. Vata means wind. Okay, bring the feet in. Left ankle now, hook it over. Again, my hands, I'm going to turn my fingertips out. And we're just going to start these gentle sways side to side. Steady your Ujjayi breath. So as we become more present, as we wake up, and we feel maybe a little bit more of a sense of harmony between the body and the mind. Now next time your foot goes right, let it stay there. Maybe walk your hands in a hair and gently, this is a small movement, and your hands can move a little bit to help you here. Right hand may walk forward a little more. You're going to just gentle twist left. Left sit bone is staying on the earth. This idea around waking up to really feel everything that our life offers us, right? Not pushing things away. That means we stay in the hard when it's hard, and we notice the joy, and actually can even find joy even when things are hard. Noticing how you can actually hold both spaces. Gently come back up. Take your hand or just kind of scooch that right leg in or straighten it out if that's better on your knee. Grab the blanket to sit on if you need some height here. Left sole of your foot is all the way on the floor. Left sit bone is all the way down as your left arm is behind you. Stretch your right arm to the sky. And then we're going to hook the right elbow around the knee. So this again is much more about enjoying and feeling the release in the outer left hip than it is about getting a big upper thoracic or spine rotation here. So if you want to hold your wrist, I like that grip when I'm doing this twist. You can let your gaze start to soften. Notice if you're working too hard in your head and you're trying to turn your head behind you, just keep your gaze steady. Your head is in line with the rest of your spine. And the action of lifting, imagining that you're lifting the left knee up with your right arm, and yet the left foot is staying connected to the earth. And you're present with whatever sensations are showing up right now. Good, yogis. And then gently, again, gentle counter twist. Left hand, let it hold your left ankle, right hand behind you. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, turn the torso. Very good. And then gently unwind. Okay. We're going to lay on our side, do a few movements before we come on the back. I'm going to stay facing you. We're going to lay on our left side. And we're going to take our block. And I want you to bring it at the back of your mat so it's on the, for most of us, it's probably going to feel best on the middle height. If you feel that's too low, you can always heighten it up, or if it feels too high, you can lower it down. What I want you to imagine is that there's a wall behind you, and that we're going to bend the bottom leg. Right now, that's your left one. Your right leg, you're going to touch it onto the block. And as you look, you want that basically in line. So I might raise mine up. I want that in line with my hip. That's a little bit better for me. Imagine a wall would be at the back of your heel, your butt, your head. Okay, so all in one line. So this bottom arm, just make it a pillow for your head. Right hand in front of you. And if you need a blanket, if the ground feels hard, put that under your bottom hip. Good. And then all we're going to do is exhale, lift the leg, and then tap it back to the block. Lift the leg and tap it back to the block. Good. Lift the leg. Now it doesn't need to go very high, and lower. Lift and lower. Lift. Now take the right hand. If you're feeling stable, take the right hand, and I want you to bring it to the top of your right hip. Lift. Imagine you're dragging the flesh of that right hip towards the heel. Lower. And as you lift your right foot, if you can see it, I want your heel as high as your pinky toe. So a lot of times the toes turn up. So internally rotate the leg a little more and lower. so that the outer seam of your foot is level with your pinky toe. Now this movement starts unassuming. You know, those first even 5, 6, they don't feel like much. And then it's like, oh, those glute med, the smaller muscles in the glute, they start to wake up here. And lower. And lift. And lower. One more time, yogis. Lift and lower. Very good. Now, set this right leg. I'm going to keep my hand on my hip. Set the right knee on top of the left knee. You're going to extend. We're going to lift the leg now again. Extend your right leg. This time it's on a diagonal. It's basically in the same trajectory as your left knee. You're just going out on the diagonal. So as you inhale, extend the leg, right hand on the hip, and you're trying to do is a little movement here. In fact, you could put it on the top like this. Make a palm, just push it on the top of the leg. And then you're going to draw the right knee not towards your face and towards your chest, but draw the right knee straight forward, and you're trying to keep knee, ankle, and shin all in one line. And then you'll inhale, extend it out. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, extend it out. Your bottom leg is pushing down. Hug it in. And again, as I say hug it in, I'm really meaning more towards the front of your mat. Exhale, or maybe it's the back of your mat. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. I don't know about you, but man, there's a lot of things I would like to numb out right now. 1 more time. Breathe in. Exhale, hug it in. Very good. Extend it out. Oh my goodness, so good. All right, let's roll over here from here onto the back. Mama. Okay, right knee on top of left knee. Pick your feet up off the floor, and you're going to take reclined cow face. Okay. This is why you did that. All right. You can hold the feet on the outer edges. You could hold the heels. That's still not working. The shins. And if your body just isn't able to get into this shape, you can do figure 4 on your back, the one that we just did seated. Okay? Or if you just find, if you want to give this a try for a moment, maybe you get more stretch in this shape in the area that feels tight. I want you to do the shape that actually gives your body the greatest release. So for me, it's the Gomukhasana, the knees stack. And I'm going to hold my heels today instead of the outer edges of the feet. Some of you can play with drawing the heels towards your hips, see if that gives you a greater stretch, or pulling the heels up and drawing the feet more towards your shoulders. Remember, some of you have been hearing the train. I do have a train, so that little rumble that you've gotten to hear a couple times. But you know what I love about the train is it just reminds me, just wake up to every moment, because things come and they go, just like the train. They all come and they all go. And when we practice really being present, that when we are in joy, we don't worry, oh no, something's going to happen. I've been feeling joy too much. Just be in that moment. Be in the joy. And when you're in pain, also know that that pain isn't going to, as we said earlier, it's not going to be there forever. Very good. And let go of your feet. Ooh, take a moment and just set your feet to the ground. Wow. You notice the difference between your sides? So we just really worked that right side, and the left side's feeling jelly, so we're going to give it some love. I'm going to switch around, so I'm still facing you, but you can just flip over on your mat because you know what to do. But what you do need to do is make sure that your block is still there, whether it's the middle height or the highest height. Bottom leg is going to bend. You're on your right side now, and extend the left leg back so the inner edge of your foot is touching that block. And again, imagine the back of your head, your butt, and your heel. If there was a wall there, it would all be touching the wall, okay? Left hand to start, you just keep it in front of you. Get familiar here. Lift the leg up. Look at your heel. It's in line with the pinky, and set it down. Lift it up. Set it down. Lift it up. And your right leg is pushing down. So even that side now is going to actually notice it's working a little bit because it's a little tired from the first. Now, I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to squeeze the hip and actually drag down a little bit. So I'm moving energy towards that foot. Can't really see it happening, but I'm doing it. Tap. Lift. Lower. You're breathing as you're going. Inhale. Lower. Inhale. Lower. You feel that start to come on. It's right, for me, it's right about now. I'm like, oh, there it is. Lift. Lower. Lift. Lower. You can do this. You can do hard things. This kind of hard. It's different. Lower. Lift. Lower. One more. Lift. And lower. Very good. Now let your left knee just for a moment stack on top of the right. Now I'm going to set my hand so the palm is facing the hip. Left leg's going to go on the diagonal, and my leg is lifted now off of that right leg. And exhale, I'm going to draw the knee forward, keeping again ankle, shin, knee all in line with this hip, parallel to the floor. You'll inhale, extend out. Exhale, hug in. And you're trying to do as little movement as possible. Inhale, so my hand is on the hip, just really to keep it anchored and also keeps me going slower. Lift or extend. Exhale, hug. And you may have to stop. I mean, this is intense for me too. You're not alone. Hug in. Extend. Hug in. Last two. Keep breathing. Okay, can you keep breathing even as it's hard? Can you soften your face as it's hard? Oh, good. So good. Okay, roll over onto your back. Use your feet to help position you. Left knee on top of right knee. That's not the most graceful transition, is it? But you know, do the best you can. All right, again, my outer feet feel far away from from those movements, so I'm going to grab my heels. You can also grab your shins or do figure four, threading your left arm between and your right hand on the outside. And again, maybe you play for just a moment with both shapes so you can really feel and understand in your body which one is going to give you the greater release today. And as you hold this shape, can you continue to sustain a soft, steady breath? Maybe you're pulling your heels a little more towards your hips, or some of you, it's opening up the shins a little more and the feet, and drawing the feet towards your shoulders. Very good. And then unwind your legs. Set your feet to the floor for a moment. Breathe in. Breathe out. And let's just do a symmetrical pose. Maybe grab your block with your feet like I just did and bring it to you. Set that block the narrow way between your inner thighs. And this isn't bridge. We're just going to do a little what we call arching and flattening, okay? So I want you to inhale, arch your back, squeeze your block, and then exhale, flatten your back. You'll feel the bottom of your butt lift. Inhale, if you don't have the block, just skip it. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, flatten. Round your back. Inhale, arch. Exhale, flatten. It's a really good therapeutic movement here for the low back. Inhale. Trying to keep the movement going in the back, but without gripping your toes. One more time. Good. Inhale, come to neutral now. So the back isn't completely flush. It is lifted just a little bit. You're going to take your block and we're going to lift the hips now higher, and you can go any height you like. We're going to slide the block for a supported bridge under our sacrum. Good. So letting those hip flexors open. It's a nice, again, movement for the low back, a supported bridge. Arms can be by your sides. And when you feel like you've surrendered your sacrum into the block, see if you can surrender it a little more. So as we dive into the month of November around waking up, we'll talk about different ways to wake up more fully. We talked about these 3 qualities of people numbing and being more mindful and to actually leaning into discomfort. We'll talk a little bit more about this and a lot of other things, because it gets pretty uncomfortable when we think about, well, what do I do instead? If I'm not distracting myself, what am I doing? And can I go there? Am I ready to go there? If some of you wanted to stretch your legs out and that feels good, and make sure, please, we've done a lot of work to help open your back. I don't want this to bring any compression. You can even do one leg at a time. That might feel good instead of doing both together. Sometimes it's a bit much, but some people love it and it feels so good in their body. So again, the yoga practice is a playground to explore, and also recognize that not every day is the same. This could feel great one day and then another day it does not. Let your legs relax, your ankles, your feet, if you're extending the legs out. And then gently draw the legs, if they're extended, one or both of them back so your feet are on the floor, back to supported bridge. Take a full breath in and empty your breath all the way out. Push into your feet. Inhale, lift up through the low back, slide your block out, and let the soles of your feet come together. Now, if you like, you could take your blanket and let your blanket just lay right across your pelvis. Breathing in. You could cactus your arms here if it feels good. Breathing out. Let yourself stay for a few breaths to explore the pelvis and how the legs, the weight of the outer knees and thighs are opening, and how you're feeling that sensation in the inner groins and maybe even across the low belly. And if there's any other movements or shapes, poses that you would like to do before you take Shavasana, go ahead and do that. And if you feel ready, let your legs, either one at a time or both together, start to extend your legs out. Let your arms now come by your sides. Turn your palms up. Push into your elbows a little bit and hug your upper arm bones in a little closer to each other. And then relax your arms. Close your eyes. Draw your chin down a little. And soften the space between your eyebrows. Surrender your feet and your legs. Relax your hips, the front and back of your pelvis. Relax your entire front of the torso, the chest, the belly. Soften your shoulder blades and your low back. Relax your throat and the back of your neck, the top of your shoulders. Relax your arms and your fingers. Relax your face and your ears and your skull. And as you lay in this shape, where you're resting and yet you're conscious, you're awake, and yet there's a softness to you, a gentleness. Gently begin to move your fingers and your toes. And if you have more time and you want to stay longer, just stay longer. Stretch your arms over your head. Point your feet or even rotate the ankles, flexing and pointing as you make those circles. And then bend your knees, sliding the feet back towards your hips. Roll to your right side. And gently use your hands to bring your body back up to an easy seat. Palms together at your heart. As we step off the mat today, we practice being more awake in our life. Being awake that you notice someone smiling at you or holding the door, or the beauty of this season and the way that nature shows off in all its colors. And when it's hard, we practice leaning into that discomfort, to those hard emotions, and being mindful in the ways that we may tend to numb ourselves. Practicing learning how to feel our own feelings. So as you draw thumbs to third eye, thank you for your presence, for being here on the mat, for your bravery to explore what there may have been some difficult movements or shapes or even feelings that came up. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you. This is such an honor, and I hope that you will consider doing Namaste November with us. 20% of all the proceeds from this event do go to two charities too. So not only is it something to give ourselves this time, this personal growth time where we get a little something each day, but we also get to give back. So again, you'll find the link in the description if you want more info or you want to register. Thank you. Have a great day.